Good morning. Good morning. It is Terrence Cummins, aka the Music Master, coming from lovely Tupelo, Mississippi, home of Tupelo Music Academy. This is the Music is Life podcast, sponsored by, today's sponsor is Sanderson Construction. This episode is proudly brought to you by Sanderson Construction, building the Mid-South for over 50 years with integrity, precision, and pride. They combine their state-of-the-art building methods with time-tested business values. So if you're planning to build, expand, or maintain your facility, don't guess, build with the best. Visit with Sanders Construction today and let their experience become your foundation. I appreciate my good friend sharing with us and being our sponsor for today's podcast, and not only that, for our summer sessions that have been going underway since the 1st of June. We're very, very proud of our summer sessions, and we wanted to share who our lovely sponsors were for today. So, getting into today's podcast, we are so happy to have Miss Kelaine Frazier, who's going to drop some gems for the M Tribe today on practice playing, staying committed, and staying true to yourself. She's dropping some gems for the M Tribe. I'm looking forward to this awesome podcast interview, again brought to you, proudly sponsored by Sanderson Construction. This is the Music is Life podcast. We're getting ready for a great show. Good morning. Good morning. It's Terrence Cummins, aka the Music Master, coming from lovely Tupelo, Mississippi, home of Tupelo Music Academy. This is the Music is Life podcast, and I am so excited about our interview today. A lot of the interviews that have come about have taken time to develop, and so we wanted to bring Miss Kelaine on. See, I didn't want to jack up her name. We want to bring her on, and I know she's going to drop some gems. We've met through social. I've watched her, and she is someone that I thought would be very beneficial to drop some gems for the M Tribe. But before we get to her, of course, we're in the summer season. And our school is year round. And so we're offering these lessons and classes all throughout the year. Summertime is, like I said, summertime is a great time to gear up and prepare yourself. Some kids are getting ready for band next month. Band camp is coming, or they're getting ready to start music in the fall. Some are just, you got the free time to work. This is your opportunity to get with the M Tribe, because we accept lessons on all levels. Drum lessons, it doesn't matter where you start, it doesn't matter what you're doing, we offer those classes for you. It doesn't matter what age you are or where you want to begin, we're here to help. Voice lessons, strings lessons, it just doesn't matter. We're definitely here to help you in that. And this fall, we're definitely getting ready. So back to school will be here before you know it. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. The team at Tupelo Music Academy is preparing the houses of Tupelo Music Academy. Our students will be placed in these different houses. We're going to have a music competition based off of your practicing, your playing, concerts and recitals, passed off pieces. We want to have fun. Sports is having fun. Music's going to have fun too. So these houses are going to come in. You're going to be designated into a house. And at the end of the year, we're going to give out a big prize. But throughout the year, from August to December, your house will be pitted against another team, another house. And I kind of got this from the Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. And when they, if we could get the magical hat and put everybody on there, I would do that. But we're going to have a little way we're going to do it. And it's going to be fun. That's going to happen in August. Also, after that time, we got recitals and stuff coming up. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So the houses of Tupelo Music Academy. And if you're looking for music lessons, we definitely want to be your place. So we're going to jump on in to the Music is Life podcast. Now, today's guest, and I'm going to go ahead and put on, I thought I was going to have to put on my glasses, but I blew up I blew it up a bit so I could see what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Ms. Frazier is a composer, pianist, and electric bass guitarist, currently based in Memphis, Tennessee, and her works spans classical and contemporary genres. She's written a 4-part miniseries, Selma, The Untold Stories, which premiered in Hattiesburg during Black History Month and later streamed on, what is that?
Was it ICTV? Or is it Infecting? I don't even.
Change Productions. So with that, she's her string quartet number 1 was read by members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. She's an active performer for ensembles, church services, and community events. She's always busy because I follow on social, so she's always doing something.
Always
but
doing something.
If you're a musician and you're a working musician and you busy, that's what we want to do. She also tutors music theory and holds a degree in both music composition and business administration. So let's welcome Miss Kelaine Frazier.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Terrence. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. So we finally got you on here. I know.
Finally.
Yeah. So I know I reached out to you first to teach, correct?
That's right.
And we just scheduled and it just didn't work out.
It just didn't work out.
I'm the type of person, I don't burn bridges, I don't cut people off. I always, here and there we've stayed connected and we was trying to get a couple of interviews that just didn't pan out. But
That's right.
Finally got her. So Ms. Frazier, let the Tupelo Music Academy M Tribe community know a little bit about you for those who don't know you.
So my name is Kelaine Frazier. Terrence kind of read some big factors that was a part of my bio, but I'm a musician, self-taught. I wasn't a child prodigy. I didn't have these elegant and elaborate teachers to instruct me along the way. Yeah. I actually wanted to be an athlete first, Terrence, before I got into music. I wanted to be a professional soccer player.
Okay. We got some things in common because I played soccer from 3rd grade to senior high school.
Yep, I was about 7 until senior year of high school. Okay. And I was like, I'm going to be a professional soccer player, but 2 torn ACLs and sprained and broken ankles and wrists and all type of stuff. I think God was like, you see that keyboard over there? Go sit down over there. I don't think you can hurt yourself like that. So, I've always loved music, but once again, I was kind of driven on this idea of being an athlete. So music was kind of like a plan B for many years. So that was around, me being a kid until pre-adolescent. And once I got to high school, I was like, okay, I want to play soccer. I love music, but I want to play soccer. So that I was full steam. And by the time senior year came about, this was before I tore my ACL, my other ACL.
Oh man.
I was like, my dad went to Alcorn, and I was like, I can go to Alcorn, get a
Hmm.
band scholarship, or I can go to Mississippi State, play soccer, see my mom because I
Yeah.
live in Columbus, and go to church. Going to Starkville. So
Yeah.
that was already a done deal. I knew I was going to go to Mississippi State. But November of 2014, my senior year, tore my left ACL. So I had to have surgery, went through the physical therapy, all that, but I just didn't have that confidence anymore.
Right.
And then once I entered into college, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do because
Okay.
soccer was kind of like the plan A.
Pinnacle.
That was the
Yeah.
beacon. It was the pinnacle. So I had to do a lot of rerouting, and again, not being sure of myself. My dad was like, you should get a degree in business and go to the Air Force. Terrence, if I went with that whole life,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be talking right now.
Right. Right.
So, you know, I wanted to start with that because it is important to, you don't have to have everything figured out at a certain age or a younger age, but it is important to be realistic.
Yep.
It's important to, if you believe in God, to have a prayer life, to be able to pray and say, hey, you know, what do you want me to do?
Right.
Because I have my parents over here, I have my friends over here, but I want to do what you want me to do. Or if there's something pressed in my heart, how can I maneuver and manifest it? So I had to do a lot of soul searching for many years to figure out like something that was already there,
Yep.
music. It took me
Yep.
years, Terrence,
Yep.
years to be in the position and live the life that I'm living right now.
I
So
I totally
whoever's listening to
get it.
this, listen, it happened for me later. And
Yep.
if later is a part of God's will and his purpose, then hey, but it's been a lot of rerouting.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of rerouting.
Well, life is about that, and
Yes,
nobody's journey is a straight line. It's
exactly.
you got turns and you got different things that happen. I know yesterday in church we said the exact same thing. I
Hmm.
said, no matter what, I worked in the school district. They found out I was an interventionist. They found out I did music. Hey, Mr. Cummings, can you do music? When I worked in the factories, they found out I did music. They wanted me to do music. Music has always been the point. And when it's there for you, it's there because it picks you. You don't pick
It
it.
picks you.
It definitely
Exactly.
picks you. I always say that the student don't pick the instrument picks the student. But for music, music picks you. You don't pick it. And when it's your call, it's you're gonna get there. You're gonna get
You
there.
don't get there. You don't get there. And going back, I think I was about 16. Um, my church, and this is another thing too. I'm glad that we're talking about this because it's kind of taking me back to that time again,
Oh yeah.
and how grateful I am to even though that I didn't just jump on it when I should have,
Hmm.
but I'm still glad that I had, you know, just something, some sort of just part of me like keep this right here, keep music there, don't totally abandon it.
Hmm.
But the guy who was playing piano for our church got an opportunity to go to California and produce for all type of rappers and R&B artists. And my pastor looked over to me. He was like, "You're in band, you know music," and he prayed over my hands. And I didn't know how to read music.
Right.
I mean, okay, I knew how to read music. I played trombone, so I only knew how to read bass clef.
Yep.
So I could read treble clef, but I made sense of chord charts, and that's how I taught myself. That's YouTube. And my dad, once again, I love Janet Jackson and Whitney Houston.
Yep.
So this is when Amazon was becoming the Amazon that we know today.
Right.
And I found these music books, like these piano, guitar, and chord books.
Hmm.
on Amazon with Janet Jackson, The Velvet Rope, and another book, and Whitney Houston. And I taught myself. I taught myself, and I'm very grateful, and I'm very grateful for the fact that I did that because it has helped me so much in so many situations where
Yes.
I only have like a few minutes to learn some music.
Yep.
I say this all the time, and it may be a little controversial, but I'm like, anytime you get a musician that comes out of church, they are always, will always top like a classically trained musician any day because they have to have the music. All
They
we
do.
have are we have our ears. We don't need anything else.
Mm-mm. And we get
You
exposed to so many styles.
so many styles comes derives from gospel, which of course every genre of music derived from some genre.
Yep.
You have jazz, you have blues, you have gospel, you have R&B, you have pop, you have bossa nova. It's so classical music. It's classical music and gospel music.
Yep. It is.
They don't realize it,
But
but
we got it.
every genre comes from something, and a lot of it came from gospel.
Well, I like what you just said. That's something that with our students, they feel like, okay, so when they first come in and maybe we give them a book or something to get themselves started, it's they feel like that's what I got to do. And you said, well,
Yes.
I went and dug. I went and took what I knew and practiced. That's a big thing, a reoccurring thing that I'm gonna keep before our M tribe is to go out and work on things, figure stuff out. Um,
Figure it out.
that's the joy
Listen,
of it.
it's the joy of it. Listen, like, open up your ears. Like, I know that this younger generation, likes a particular type of music,
Hmm.
but step outside of that for like a day or two, and you will see where that came from, where
Right.
that rhythm came from. You know, it's really really beautiful how intertwined music is. From our roots, black people, and slavery, and coming from the hymnals and spirituals that we paired with music when we were able to, and to see all of that,
Right.
just it's just a rebirth of all of that.
Well,
It's just a rebirth.
that leads me into one of my first questions. You work
Sure.
both in classical and contemporary music. How do you
Hmm.
think blending the genres help today's musician become more creative and marketable?
Honestly, it may be a bit frivolous to say, but that's just the world that we live in.
Right.
You know, classical, if you want to just say it in layman's terms, classical is more of the past, and contemporary is more of the present. And in any facet of music, you're pulling from both.
Right.
You're pulling from the past, you're pulling from the present to get to the future. It's called new music now. Just like we came up with these elaborate names over the years,
Yeah.
and now we just settled on new music. It's new music now, Terrence. So, um, first thing, which is very important, identify yourself. Like,
Hmm.
see what you like. Who are you as a musician? Who are you as a pianist? Who are you as a bassist? Who are you as a saxophonist? Who are you as anything in music? A producer,
Right.
A&R, sound engineer. Who are you?
Right.
And and another thing to also, I'm gonna bring God up a lot because I just believe in God.
Hey, that's where I'm at.
you, you
Go
know,
ahead.
you have to be able to, if you don't believe in God, you have to pray or just go to this or consult with this higher understanding outside of yourself to figure out what your sound is. Because that was something that I prayed for. Like, I want my sound. I don't want nobody
Right.
else's sound because I can't be like Terrence. I can't be
Right.
like Quincy Jones. I love Quincy Jones. I have love for you and so many other musicians, but I can't be Robert Glasper because guess what? Robert Glasper is Robert Glasper
That's
and
right.
Kelaine is Kelaine. So it's okay. to take influence and to take inspiration, but don't attach their identity to yours because they're separate for a reason.
Right.
They're separate for a reason. So it is important to, I hope this answers your question, but it's just important to embrace the past and the present, and then find yourself and how you can maneuver in the middle between classical and contemporary, because as you can see, even the classical pieces that are still resurfacing
Hmm.
are from some of the same composers: Bach,
Yep.
Beethoven, maybe Brahms. Let me see who else. Uh, what's this? I'm drawing a blank. Rite of Spring. Rite of Spring. What is his name? Igor Stravinsky.
Yeah.
But that's more of 20th century music. So you know, just find your identity and find who you like. Find who you like. Listen to their music. Pay attention to the styles of music, and you'll see how parallel a lot of these things
It
are,
is.
which
It's
is
similar.
crazy. It's very similar. It's very similar, but I think that's kind of the point.
It is. And I like what you said on that part of like finding your own sound.
You
Um,
have to.
you know, some you hear, I want to be the next, and I was like, no, don't say that. Be you.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Be you.
Charlie Parker said this, and Charlie Parker is considered one of the best alto jazz saxophonists that ever lived. He said, "Take everything you know and then forget it."
Yup.
He's just like, go out
Yes.
there and be you. I have influences, but I wanted if someone heard me say, "Well, that's Terrence." I know that off the top, because I know when I hear Gerald Albright or David Sanborn, I know who they are. I ain't even got.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
having your own unique fingerprint, but I like the other part of that is figuring it out.
You have
Taste,
to.
touch, listen.
You
Um,
have to.
my mom's a minister, but she allowed us to listen to other music, and this was back in the '80s and '90s when Pentecostal church, if we go back, kind of rigid,
Bah!
rigid, rigid,
Yeah.
but
Straight.
very, very. And I was a PK, but
Mm-hmm.
my sister and my brother and I were able to be exposed to other types of music that influenced me. So I like what you said on there. Go out there and listen to some stuff and see what's your fingerprint on it.
Listen, I mean, even my parents. Both my parents are in their 60s, and I have an older sister who is about to have a birthday in a few days, who's in her 30s. I'm 28. I'll be 29 in a few months. My parents loves, the Isley Brothers,
Yeah.
Whitney, Anita, Shaka Khan, Earth, Wind and Fire. So I have that. Just
Hmm.
going back to the analogy of classical and contemporary. Then
Yep.
I have a sister who, at that time, I was born in '96. So once I became, of age to where I could pay attention to things, who's out here? Beyonce with Destiny's Child. Rap was, still,
Yep.
you know, it was a new sound of rap though.
Hmm.
You had the Sugar Hill Gang and NWA and East Coast, West Coast rappers. And then you had like T.I. and all these other people coming
From the
out, and
South.
Usher. Yeah, the South was coming up, Outkast. But just to go back to the artists that my sister would play, like with Destiny's Child, and all of these girl groups. So I have the old school, as we always say, and then this new school coming out. So that's still that parallel that I was analogizing between like classical and contemporary, and sort of like you said, the influence and the foundation that our parents laid for us too.
Right.
It is all it all comes full circle.
It
Period.
does.
Everything in music comes full circle. You just have to pay attention, and you have to figure it out. You have to go for it. You got to sit down and get you some headphones, and I don't know if any of your students, or if you all, introduce classical music and composers to the tribe at the academy, but give it a shot. Let them hear a little Bach, Beethoven. They may go to sleep, but if you really analyze the chord progressions and the figurations of music, you'll
Hmm.
see it in a Ricky Diller song.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I was playing the Best Day by Ricky Diller. And my professor was like, "Is that a classical composer?" And I was like, "It's gospel.
Yeah.
That's gospel, baby." Uh-huh. Because again, the parallels and the fusion of all these genres. Like if you listen to, let me see, I think is it Kurt Carr? Like this is
Yes.
something that I was discussing with my professor. Matter of fact, last semester, kind of like this hidden channel between gospel and classical music,
Hmm.
and it's something to do with the chord progressions and the rhythm from um, artists like Kurt Carr, Ricky Dillard,
Richard
and
Smallwood.
that's it. Yes, yes. I told him to listen to Total Praise and to listen for those chord progressions. And I promise you, you'll see it in a classical composer.
Yep. And he
Or,
and he's been open and candid. I think was it a year or two ago, they did a composition, and he Richard was very candid. I took this from classical and
and I
I
think
applied it.
he applied it, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I
No,
think
no, go
Richard
ahead.
Smallwood is actually, I know he went to Howard, but I think Richard is classically trained, I
He
believe.
is. He is.
So you see. So if y'all watch this, I'm telling you, everything in music is a continuous circle, a
It is.
continuous evolution. It's
It
it's,
is.
it's it is.
Okay, so this goes to my next question. What habits
Okay.
or routines have helped you grow the most in your music, especially early?
Passive listening. This is something that I did from day one, that I'm so grateful that I did, that no one even taught me or sort of suggested that I do. But passive listening, if there's a song that I learned that I need to learn, I listen to it before I actually learn it. Like, um, like I'm getting ready to go on tour next month with this group called Music Export Memphis,
Okay.
and when I'm brushing my teeth in the car, I'm lying in bed, I'm listening to the music, and by the time I actually sit down at the
Hmm.
keyboard or at my bass, I know it. I know it. What I'll do is, if it's like brand spanking new, is that I'll get my phone and go to good old garage band, or especially if I'm on the go, like I'm in the car,
Yep.
and I'll be clacking to see what key is in,
Hmm.
and I go from there. And going back to church, man, you can hear the numbers, like, okay, that's 4, 6, 2, 1.
Hmm.
I don't know if y'all are doing this with ear training. Are y'all doing ear training at the academy?
Absolutely.
Train that ear.
Hmm.
Train that ear. That's what I do. I train my ear, passive listening. Actually practice, guys. Practice
Yeah.
your instruments.
Yes.
Please, 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 please. Practice, practice, practice. When I was in band in high school, and they'd be like, practice 30 minutes a day. I'm not gonna practice.
Right.
This is what this is for. But now that I'm older, have much more
Right.
discipline than I did when I was in high school. It is very important to practice, even if it's 5 minutes a day.
I
Even
love that.
even if you don't touch your instruments, sing a scale. Have those numbers in your mind. Have it embedded. Have these every scale that you can learn. Have it in your mind. Have it in your mind. If you hear something, try and sing it back and sing it up the scale, and then sing it back down the scale. Try and sing it minor. It may seem nerdish, but it's so helpful.
It
It's so helpful
is.
because guess what? When you get in a situation and you only have like, I'll even give a little grace and say a day to
Right.
learn the music. You got it.
You do.
You got it.
That's a
Because you've
gem.
done the work. Because you've done the work. You've done the work to get you to where you are. So if I get some music right now depending on how complex it is, of course, I may have to sit down, but for the most part, I can sit there and be like 3, 6, 2, 1, 4, 5, 1. You know.
Yeah.
So
I like
practice,
that.
practice,
That is
practice.
that's like a crazy gem. Um, I I had my wife come in when we first got married. I was listening to
Hmm.
music. She said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm practicing." She's like, "Where's your saxophone?" I said, "It's up here."
So
I
here.
said, "Yeah, I'm listening." Um, we were playing, and some of my parents' friends came in. They from Bible school,
Hmm.
and one was a musician, so he knew. He didn't say anything. The other two wasn't.
Hmm.
So they got to singing the song. I jumped in and just started playing. He was like, "Man, you got that key quick. How did you get that key?" I said, "I heard it when you started. It was there. I've done it so many times. Repetition, hearing that note, humming the note,
Humming
doing
it.
the beats. I used to get in trouble with that though, humming and doing beats with my mouth. Tell me shut up. But anyway, it was a form of practice that I didn't understand, but it helped me. So you just dropped that gem, and then just getting in there and just listening over and over, getting it's in your subconscious.
It's in your
Listening.
subconscious. Something that my professor told me in ear training, you're not training your ears, you're training your mind. You're not
Oh
training
yeah.
your ears because guess what? Your ears gonna deceive you every time because that's just that's just nature. But you're training your mind to hear these pitches and attach them with something.
I like
And
that.
you're doing it intentionally and you want to do it intentionally. So
Oh, that's a X moment. We used to say tweetable moment. That's an X one. I like that one.
ah,
I
it's
like
still
that one.
Twitter in my eyes.
You know, we're in a different
Right.
world now.
But yeah, we
You,
gonna we gonna we gonna digress.
yeah. Okay. So my next question for you is: have
Yes.
you ever faced moments where you feel stuck or discouraged in your musical journey, and how did you overcome?
Oh my gosh. That probably happens at least a few months out of the
Yeah.
out of the year. But the most recent was when I moved to Memphis, and I don't have any family, don't know anybody there. So it's like I was truly the new kid on the block,
Right.
and I couldn't find a church, and I was like, okay, mm, like did I regret this? I love that
Yeah.
commercial, that Snickers commercial. Instead of
Yeah.
regret, I say regret. So I was like, okay, God, help. So something finally came about. So I was like, okay, I'm cool. School semester started,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna try to tastefully say this, but the school that I came from when I got my degree in music composition,
Uh huh.
you know, I'm gonna be transparent. They didn't teach us anything.
Mm.
They didn't teach us. They didn't teach us what they were supposed to teach us.
Right.
I'm grateful for it. I learned some stuff.
Yeah.
Emphasis on some stuff.
Yeah. Some stuff, but not
But
what you thought it was gonna be.
boom. So got to Memphis, and of course, every school's curriculum is different. It's supposed to be.
Right.
But Terrence, I got there, and I don't know if you watch like UFC or boxing,
Yep.
but it, I had a Mike Tyson type of knockout. I'm talking about instantly, ding, dude. Oh my gosh, I I was like, did I really make the wrong decision coming here because I don't know anything?
Mm.
Like they're talking about things. I'm looking around the classroom, and everybody's like, yeah. And I'm just like, what the heck? I don't know this. So that was, oh my gosh, I was kind of depressed last semester. Not gonna lie to you, because I was like, I don't know a thing. I don't know a thing. I was like every day, I was so mentally drained.
Mm.
And then my professor, he, sorry kids, sorry for the language, but that man is not a good man.
Mm.
He's a butthole. Got to use that euphemism. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
He's a butthole. So I had to just take a moment and breathe through it.
Right.
And say, okay, I prayed on this. And I was like, okay, God, like I know that I'm here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to make that reason a little bit more clear.
Right.
Because I'm getting knocked out. But you just gotta keep going. You just gotta truck through it for real. You have to truck through the frustration. You have to truck through your professors not being the nicest human beings, because you're gonna get some teachers and some instructors who are just not pleasant human beings.
Right.
You have to know yourself, and you have to set boundaries. Set boundaries, kids. Always set boundaries, and just breathe through it, and just realize who you are, because they don't define you.
Nope.
They don't define you, and they only hold so much power, and the power that you the power that you give them. That's the only power that they have. The power that you give them.
And I say this as well. You got to learn how to embrace struggle. It's a part of it.
Music is a struggle, so you have to.
It is. Embrace it and just learn to work within it. It's going to make you stronger.
It's gonna make you stronger. It's gonna make you so much stronger. And I think, that was just August through December, and I saw a complete change this past semester because I had to just walk through the struggle. You just gotta. I pray. When I say I think I prayed more than I ever had last semester.
Well, I mean, that in that I see that you grew a lot.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I had to. I had no choice.
Yeah.
It was either stand up or get beat down.
Yep. But you made the choice to keep moving.
I ain't finna let nobody beat me down.
Well,
I done came this far.
Right.
I done came this far. And that's what you have to say to yourself. Like, man, I got here. God helped me.
Right.
But also, we have to have the wherewithal to get up every day and to pick up our instruments and say, I'm gonna try my best. And that's what you have to do. You have to try. You have to try. Because if you don't try, you have nothing. You really don't.
You don't, and you got to put forth that effort. So, with that,
mm-hmm.
What one piece of advice would you give a 12-year-old student who's just starting at Tupelo Music Academy and wants to turn their love of music to a career? What would you tell them?
What would I tell them? And see, this is the kicker. This person is 12, so you have to. You can't just say, just do it. It's just like, no. What I would do is ask, what do you love about music? What is piquing your interest? Excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
your interest to want to pursue music. And then I would sort of, depending on the answer, let's just say, I love music because it makes me happy. My parents play it a lot, and I want to learn how to play saxophone because
Right.
I see Mr. Cummings, and my parents told me about this academy, and I see other kids there. So this is what I want to do. So in so many ways, I hope this is too advanced, but I would probably tell them that everything begins and ends with what you allow. So if this is something that you really want to do and you want to be serious about it, take time to figure yourself out. Like, I would tell them to just sit down and close their eyes and envision them playing that instrument. Okay, do it. Envision yourself at church. Envision yourself at, if you're allowed to watch it, envision yourself at the Grammys.
Right.
Go from church isn't small scale, but in this frame we're going to say small scale. You have church, and then you have this huge platform
Right.
that is 1000% is centered around music. Envision yourself doing these things. And does that still make you happy? Does that
Mm.
still bring a smile on your face? Does that still kind of, you get little jitters and excitement because this is something that you really love to do? And if you have that, you go for it.
100%.
You
Love
go
it.
for it. You have to. You have to. If you can't picture yourself doing it, don't do
Nope.
it.
You got to see
If
it.
it does, you gotta see it. You gotta see it, or you never
There's
will
no,
see it. You gotta see it. What was it? You gotta see it before you see it, or you never will see it.
you
But I
will
would sell
not.
it to a 12-year old.
And you do. I mean, there's not a time since I was 4 or 5, music has just not entered my anything. I don't care if I was in
Hmm.
school, I was at church, I was playing. Somehow, music is going to come forth in some form or fashion. So, Kelaine, where can people find you online? And you talk about this tour where you have different clips, pictures, video, where you show yourself while you're on the road. We'd love to follow you.
I would love that. I'm on Facebook, Kelaine Frazier, just like my name is below. I'm on Instagram. Oh, forgive me. I don't know my Instagram handle. You wait right there. I think it's Kelaine underscore. No, excuse me. It's underscore Kelaine. And that's about it. I am on Twitter, but that's mine.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Well, look, we have appreciated the gems that you have dropped as far as passive listening, being able to see things, embracing the struggle, and just overall your general love for music. Now, we are uh I do appreciate you being on today. I want you to
I
sit
appreciate
tight
you
because I'm gonna circle back around. But I definitely appreciate you being on the Music is Life podcast today. You've been a blessing. You dropped some gems, and they'll be spread out throughout social because you know how I do it. But
for sure.
hold on real tight. We're gonna go back in real quick. I'll be right
Okay.
back with you.
All right.
Now, I appreciate Miss Frazier for being on the Music is Life podcast. We always want to provide gems for the M Tribe and the families at Tupelo Music Academy, and she definitely dropped several several gems for the M Tribe. Again, if you are looking for music lessons, we're taking students of all ages, and this July starts something brand new for us, and that is we're taking them from infants up. This is the first time I've been able to offer a class that starts July the 10th at Tupelo Music Academy. Dr. Schultz will head up that class. It's a group class, and it'll be held a couple of times a week at the academy. We're starting July the 10th, 2025. We also have some new voice classes that are going to be added. Guitar, bass, voice lessons, anything that you're looking for, give us a call at Tupelo Music Academy. We're definitely looking forward to helping you. And this fall, the houses of Tupelo Music Academy are coming in. If you are M-Tribe member now, you will be sorted out. And those who are coming in for back to school, you'll be sorted out as well. This is a new music competition within Tupelo Music Academy. I'm very excited about it. And we're looking forward to it. So, again, I'm your boy, Terrence Cummins, aka the Music Master, here in lovely Tupelo, Mississippi, home of Tupelo Music Academy, home to your music lesson journey. Thank y'all for joining in. Again, we thank Ms. Frazier for being a part of the Tupelo Music Academy Music is Life podcast. Y'all be blessed.